Hello, this is Mark Sabatella from Outside Shore Music. In this video, I want to talk about what it means for a melody or a chord progression to be diatonic and what it means to not be diatonic. I notice there's a lot of questions that come up that basically come down to confusion over these points. So first let me define the word diatonic, because a lot of the questions don't involve the word diatonic, they involve the concept of it, and maybe someone doesn't know the word for it. So diatonic means every note is in the key. So this assumes that we have a key. So for my demonstration here, we're going to be dealing with the key of C major. A piece can be in C major, but have some of its notes not be in that key. And that's what I want to be talking about here. So if a piece is diatonic, that means all of its notes are in the key. So I'm going to use an example here of a simple arrangement of Yankee Doodle, and it goes like this. All right, in that simple arrangement there, the melody is diatonic. All the notes were in the key of C, right? There were no black notes there. And all the chords were diatonic. A C chord is only notes that come from C. The G chord is only notes that come from the key of C. The F chord, only notes that come from key of C. And the G7 chord, only notes that come from the key of C. So that is a song where the melody and the harmony are both diatonic. Now sometimes we might have a song where the melody has non-diatonic notes, but the chords might still be diatonic. And here's an example here where I just threw in a few little chromatic passing tones to that same melody and keeping the same harmony. I threw in these chromatic passing tones. Maybe they sound a little jazzy. I tried to play it without swing so it wouldn't be too much jazz, because this isn't a jazz concept here. So that chord progression, the exact same chord progression, the chords are diatonic, but the melody had notes that were not in the key. Now, it's still in the key of C. This song is still in the key of C. It still ends on a C chord with a C in the melody. It's still very strongly in C. It just happens to have some notes that weren't in the key, and that's fine. Here's another example. Here I'm back to the original diatonic melody, but now I've changed the chords. So the chords, like I have an E7 chord here, that includes a G sharp that's not in the key. D7 includes an F sharp that's not in the key. Let me play through that version. All right, those last two chords are jazz, I gotta say that. But the rest of the chords could totally appear in lots of kinds of music, classical music, rock, folk music, whatever. So the melody is diatonic, but the chords were not. Some of the chords had notes outside the key. And again, that's perfectly fine. We can still say this song is in C. It just happens to have some chords that are coming from somewhere else. But the whole song still leads us back to C. C is still our home. My final example here is just taking both of those variations at once. The melody has those non-diatonic notes, and the chords will have some non-diatonic notes, but we're still very much in C. Let me try that again. So you can see that we can get, kind of far away from the idea of being diatonic. We have a lot of melody notes and a lot of notes in the chords that are not in the key, and yet the whole song as a whole is in the key of C. And this is something that's going to be really common in a lot of kinds of music, that yes, in a lot of simple music, everything might be totally diatonic, but plenty of music exists where the melody and or the chord progression are not diatonic, and it's still said to be in the key, and again, that's perfectly fine.